Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ivan. I work for Magento, the Barcelona office. We are the ones in charge of maintaining and building the order management system that we're currently also offering with Magento for enterprise clients and so on. And I'm going to explain a bit what we are doing right now and we've done in the past months. This presentation was originally created by Sergey Kolostyak. I still don't know how to pronounce that last name. The guy still hates me about that. We've been working for 3 years. Later augmented by Mare Espinosa, who is on honeymoon. Happy honeymoon, Mark. And then me for this event. So basically, I'm going to speak a bit more or less what the Magento commerce order management is, the integration and the challenges we found in the past years, what the iSystem project is, some very short sample what we are doing right now, and very small time for question and answers, but you already heard, party time. So, this is the fancy text to describe what Magento order management is. It's basically a SaaS solution. It's not a software that you will install or download anywhere. It's something that is totally hosted by us. It's a very complex system, and then you will see why. It's a software that actually manages catalog, inventory, stock management, order fraud, risk assessment, payments, a lot of other stuff. I'm going to more or less present how it works from here. So we have in the center MCOM. That's our new brand name for Magento Commerce Order Management System. Previously was known as OMS, Order Management System. Very boring name. Now looks cool. And on top we have MDC, which is now the new name for Magento Digital Commerce, also known as Magento 2 for the ones that are aware right now. So basically right now what this means is, this is a very small example on, we receive an order from MDC, which could be any other front end, but it's MDC. And a lot of stuff happens with that order afterwards. We process payments, either be it PayPal, Ingenico. We do risk assessment on the fraud subsystem. We do sourcing of the order. We process logistics, all the events related to that, and basically manage inventory of each store. It's created to be a fully omni-channel solution in order to manage different stores, different warehouses at the same time, and keep track of everything at the time. I'm going to present like a very messy real-life example, but also simplified, of a current client that we've had for a while, which is in this case Helly Hansen. It all starts with a front end. It's basically Magento 1 right now, as we speak. It's going to be Magento 2 in a week or so. We're launching it right now. Well, re-platforming. We receive an order, an MCOM, any given order, from one of the stores of Helly Hansen. And several things happen at the beginning. We basically do the first capture authorization, do the risk assessment to see if the order is fraudulent, if it's a stolen credit card, stuff like that. We use external providers for most of this stuff. We're also creating our own in-house this bridge to the payment system called Reno. It's about to go live as well. We do inventory management. We see if we have stock for that particular item on that particular store or country or area or whatever. And based on that, we do the sourcing of the order, basically know to which warehouse to send. Afterwards, process the actual logistics part. We send the request to a given warehouse, and we wait for the warehouse to reply. As you know, you also have to notify the client what's happening with their order. Basically, that is what we call the transactional emails, which is your order was received, thumbs up, good for you. We will mail them again when your order was shipped or your order was canceled or whatever happens. For that, we also use an external provider connected to one of our in-systems. As you may have guessed already, there is a lot of interaction going the other way around as well. Basically, we get a reply from the warehouse saying whether something was shipped or was canceled, We update the inventory, whether decreasing or releasing stock for something that was allocated. We notify the front end, so they also know what amount of stuff they have to sell, etc. As you can see, this is a rather basic setup. Another real-life example that we have is for toes. No animation this part, you already saw the arrows drawing. So basically, the same happens, but we have, in this case, different warehouses. The sourcing engine basically decides if the order goes to the United States or where the order goes to the Barcelona, Spain in general, then we choose a given warehouse depending on that. All this is managed through sort of messages. Not to lie, most of these messages are actually text files in XML format, CSV, and so on. And they travel through a lot of different means. This has caused some issues launching each client. I mean, each client is quite different. It's impossible for us to create a single solution that covers for all the needs of any given client. So basically, we had to find a way to some sort of homogenize this, to make it something that looks more like a real enterprise solution with a real common language. So, some examples, for instance. How many of you, any of you have worked integrating Magento or any other system, SAP, CRM, whatever? So you guys, everybody knows that this mayhem is not the same way you talk to a CRM or any given CRM or SAP system, whatever. So basically, this is exactly the same message. It totally looks different. It's very different what we have on our standard interface and any other warehouse system that we may talk to. The transport layer, that's also quite different depending on who we talk to. Maybe XML via SPP, CSV, XML via HTTP, maybe even RESTful. We have everything. Still mayhem. Also, the messages, the actual message, the communication channels, those two on top, those two in the middle, those two in the bottom, they're exactly the same. There's just 3 messages there, but everybody calls them a different way. It depends on who you talk to. So this is why the existing project was created. It was a way to standardize the way we speak to our integrations, the way we transmit what events, what commands, what structures we pass along those lines, a way to make it a standard, so to speak. I know that's a bit far-fetched, but we're trying. In the existing specification, basically, we have it spread in different modules. Basically, it's more or less domain areas, be it sales, be it logistics processing, be it catalog management, inventory, and others. There's like 8 of them already defined. We're still working on those main parts. From those modules, we have, in each of these modules, we have structures that define what data looks like. These defines are basically XML files, but very simple XML files. Who here loves XML? Shame on you. Nobody loves XML. But honestly, this one is a very, 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 very streamlined, very, very slimmed down XML format. It's okay, it's not that complicated. And also we define services. Services might be either commands, which are imperative actions that should occur. Please ship this item, please update this product. Events are basically whatever happened after that. Oh, this product was updated. Oh, this product was created. Oh, your order was already shipped. And we also support queries, which is basically how a system can query our system or any other linked system for information. How many of those beautiful red boots do you have? Stuff like that. So going a bit more into example, this is more or less how a structure looks like. This is a structure to define achievement. Of course, it's not complete, but you can see it's very simple. It's just the name of the structure, some summary, a couple of tags deciding whether it's extensible or not, and the properties. Properties are simple scalar values. There is no complication here. All those are validated on received and when we are sending them. If it's going to be like an array of structures, like the one below, like lines, it's basically an array of shipment lines, that also is a structure with simple values contained. There is no mixed things. That's a value that you expect all the time there, and that's the value it should be. Services, also defined inside the module, basically define whether it's going to be a command, or a query, or an event. I need to know if I can alt-tab here to show something else on code later. I guess you can. Okay. So, okay, back to the events. These events, this is what we call the specification. This doesn't mean much, it's just a specification. I haven't talked about the format or anything like that. All these can be serialized and deserialized to and from JSON, XML, YAML, CSV, God forbid, and so on. So what we have worked with is defining the specification and somehow working with the current implementation right now where, we're currently supporting JSON over RabbitMQ for the transport layer with the current client setups that we're launching right now. XML is out of the box supported as well, of course. We already render both serializing configurations. And the transport is for anyone to decide what they want to use. On this current scenario, we are currently supporting our specification JSON over AMQP. What is happening right now with this? We're launching 2 clients at the same time. They are both going on this, what we call the Magento Enterprise bus internally. It's not a brand name, don't repeat it outside of here. Basically, this is the setup. We have a cloud-hosted AMQP server where we connect, be it a warehouse system, a Magento instance, which already supports RabbitMQ out of the box. So yes, we have a connector there that connects to this system. And all this is read and supported by Encom. What happens on Magento 2 in particular? Since it already has RabbitMQ support, we built a sort of connector, which is basically an extension with some modules for sales, inventory, catalog, and so on, that you can, is freely available, whoever is going to work with the Encom platform as such. It's extendable, you just need to install it as a package inside Magento, and it should work out of the box with some configuration. It already does the reading of the spec, the serialization, deserialization, do dating, and so on. What this means? This means that we currently support almost instantaneously, real-time update of stuff that happens on MDC front-end and inside the OMS and vice versa. For instance, create an order. The order is created, the Encom receives the order, we ship the order, whatever we decrease stock, we update immediately the front end to know, I already sold that, don't sell it again, please. You don't get a pissed off customer with that. Most of the processes have been created to, have been upgraded to run asynchronously, so no longer need to wait or block for anything in particular. And happiness, basically. There is a lot of improvement here compared to what we had before, having to wait for certain things to update. And to integrate this with different partners, total chaos. I'm going to show you just a quick bit. No, I'm not going to show because it doesn't change. So, basically, it was quite a fast presentation. I'm so sorry, this is the first time that I give this specific presentation, so maybe I was way too fast.
So I called yesterday and was asking about an installation. We have a site hosted Magento 2 in a hosting company, and he wanted to implement the Encom system. What's the way to connect the Encom system with a store hosting someplace else? Like, I wrote something about Magento shared services, but I don't know where that lives or how it's used, so I want to know that.
So, Encom is not a free solution. It's an enterprise solution which is meant mainly for high profit stores and stuff like that. I'm not a sales guy, so I cannot, but I can redirect it to the people that actually manage that thing.
So you need to have that, like you need to have the entire store hosted in Magento to be able to use MCOM, or like,
No, no, no,
I
no,
can
no.
do it through sales. That guy probably can get an authorization or whatever he needs, but then I need to know how to connect the MCOM with his store, basically. What's the layer between that?
So basically, imagine you have you have a store and you have a Magento 2 installed there to run the store. And you want omnichannel capability and you want stock management and you want all that, and you have like 3 different warehouses and so on. So taking this scenario as a starting point, so who's your client? Is it a big client? Is going to be something that is going to be quite profitable? I'm starting to talk like a sales guy. I don't want to be that guy. So forget about that part. Let's talk about the techie part. The techie part is basically for Magento 1, we already had a connector that did the old way of doing things, which was basically that weird assortment of different file formats and stuff in the back. Let's talk Magento 2. So stuff that you did, mainly install the connector that we already have for Magento 2. Is freely available as well. We have to set up something inside on our side. Currently, we're working on one-click setup. It's not done yet. It's going to improve a lot launching new clients. But right now, there is some sort of manual working that we have to do on our side, like set up your credentials, set up the virtual host on RabbitMQ, and so on and so on and so on. But on your side, it would be just install that connector.
What's the name of the connector?
Eh?
What's the name of the connector?
I will have to give you the URL later on. It's on our GitHub, sorry. I don't remember the full length of it.
Okay, thanks.
Sorry. Yes.
So it's working for Magento 1, Magento 2.
No, this is only Magento 2.
Only Magento 2?
Yeah.
Because you just mentioned the Helly Hansen, which is connected to Magento 1.
Yeah, the first example was Magento 1 until this week. Magento Helly Hansen is going to be launched on the queuing system this week or the next one.
So for customers who are still transiting between Magento 1 and 2, it's not possible to use MCOM.
No, yes, you can still use Encom.
Okay.
Okay, yes. Helly Hansen is currently on Magento 1 using MCOM.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I got a client who's working on Magento 1 right now, and they're supposed to start working on Magento 2 next year. But it would make sense to use a solution like this.
Yeah, of course, by all means.
Is there a live demo we can check out? Or?
I will have to look into that, but I think we do.
Okay.
Again, remember, developer here, not sales guy. I don't have those resources here.
Any estimate on the cost on a monthly basis? Or?
Not a sales guy.
I know.
I don't do numbers, sorry, guy. You can ask her.
I know. Oh, well. Not a salesman.
So you have implementations for a couple of ERP-like systems already for MCOM?
Yep.
That's some sort of mapping, I presume.
Yes, exactly. It's basically mapping. It's like the first structure is mainly, we have blessed structures inside the system, which is how an order is represented inside the system, but how that order is exported outside or imported, it varies. I mean, it might be from the Magento instance, it might be from an in-house system. The same with the warehouse management system. It could be a standard-ish warehouse system. It could be Renus, it could be Direct Connect, it would be, so.
It's either it's push and pull, depending on the platform,
Yep.
I guess. Okay.
So
What kind of integrations do you have ready for which platform? For which, you already have some mapping for some ERP systems or something?
the thing is, most of them are quite custom. There is that's the main drive behind this common standard way of talking commerce, because all of them are different. All of them are custom made. So basically, what we're trying to do is create this environment where we speak the same language, and we allow the system integrators to talk to whatever system they want and give us a centralized and way of doing stuff. I mean, a common language to do business with. That's it. Well, then thank you very much. Tienes que quitarme esto. Sí.
¿Dónde lo No, eso lo pongo yo.